Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. My name is Danny De Lillo. I'm here with Hena. So great to have you here, Hena, in person.
Definitely. Thank you.
Really cool. Thank you for your fantastic movie, The House of Mariana y Gabriel. But for those that haven't seen it, let's take a look at the clip.
Deja de ser güey y ayúdame. We have 5 days left.
Wow. You really have no life. Zero, nada. You a sad story.
No life? I'm not the one who's a dumbass always hanging out with some goddamn idiot. Gabriel, we have a lot of stuff we have to pack and get rid of, please.
Why don't you just go to England and cover that Morrissey concert or whatever?
I would if I could, dumbass. I'm not the one with the fancy US passport.
Jesus, not that again.
You know, clearly you don't give a shit about me or Papi because all you have is dick on the brain.
You know what? I'm kind of glad Papi's gone, you know? Because now I can do whatever I want. And yeah, I got dick on the brain and
Why would you say that?
Hena, really cool to have you here, and I'm very thankful. Thank you for bringing your film to us. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
Sure. So The House of Mariana y Gabriel is about two siblings in Boyle Heights in East LA. They're Mexican-American, and they have to move out of their house within the next few days, and their dad is absent. He is being held actually in an immigration detention center. So there's a lot the family is having to work through and to figure out. So in a nutshell, yeah, I think that's the film.
I love your family dynamic of this film because, you know, you've got these two siblings that are obviously going through so much, you know, with their father as well, but also their own kind of personal growth as well. And I thought you captured all those elements really well. And it's a touching subject that happens and exists for so many people as well. Where did the inspiration come for you deciding to turn this story into a film?
Yeah, a lot of places. I guess I'll start with, I think this film began my journey of wanting to make films about migrants and what I call migrant life. I think being a migrant in any way, whether it's forced or whether you choose to migrate, I think is a very disruptive and informative experience, and like one that I've been through myself. And so I think hopefully I'll have a long journey of making films that examine the migrant life, and I think this is the first one of that. So that was part of where it came from. And also for me, I'm Muslim and South Asian, and all my films have featured those sorts of characters. So I wanted to see, could I portray characters who are from a community that I'm not a part of? And can I do it well? You know, can I do it authentically? So I wanted to really push myself in that way. And I think another thing too was I was fairly new to LA at the time, and so I set and shot the film in LA as a way for me to get to know the city much more, and also who's in the city. And I think to help represent a little bit more on screen who I see around me, you know, in this city. So yeah.
Absolutely, and I love that. I love it. You know, set yourself a challenge, and how kind of was that experience? You know, being obviously you travel, you know, live in different places in America from both from the UK, but like how was that experience? Sort of like, you know, kind of learning about the area and the culture and the great diversity in this city as well. And I'm so glad that you put that together. But how was that experience for you, kind of making a film that felt like out your zone?
It was really fun.
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I think I got to see more different parts and neighborhoods of LA that I wasn't as familiar with at the time. I became good friends with the person whose house we filmed in, actually, and we're the same age, and we found like we have a lot of things in common. And he appreciated what I was trying to do with the film and how I was trying to show the neighborhood that he's in, that he's from, and that, you know, the siblings are meant to be from. So that was cool. So yeah, I think I gained like perhaps a little bit more knowledge about the city, and also I think new friends along the way.
Absolutely.
I did a lot of research too, like all sorts of research, starting with going very academic and then realizing, you know, I need to make these characters like just actual real people. So then I started to watch films that I feel like they would have watched and would know really well, and music is a massive thing for me. So, and you know, she works at a radio station, so so I started to listen to the sort of music that I think both siblings would be into.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of that was a challenge, but I think a really good one too.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and like it's one thing of us as well. Obviously, these two central characters, obviously, both going through love and experiences and all of that as well. And you know, it was nice too. I've got two cousins who both so happen to be part of the LGBT community, and like how that kind of relates together. It was really nice to see these two central figures going through their own experiences and their own situations, and love is love. How was it developing those characters, and what was it like you directing? How do you kind of work as a director?
Yeah, well, I think as a writer director, I needed to find a way to I think to connect with them more. So I had both of the siblings be for them to both be queer, and I think I felt like, why does one of them have to be straight? I think they can both be queer, so I just did it. And once I did that, I think there's a lot of me in both of them. I think in different times of my life. Like he has a dating life and she really doesn't, and like I've experienced both. So I thought that was sort of interesting and funny to me. And yeah, I had a lot of conversations with my actors, and I think they also really infused the characters too. I workshopped every scene with them, you know, before we got on set. So a lot of the dialogue came from like those meetings or those rehearsals. And yeah, I think, you know, whether if you have siblings or if you're queer, or if you've got a queer sibling, I think there's a lot of ways that, you know, people can hopefully relate to the story.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even so, it just felt like, you know, two siblings going through, you know, quite a difficult journey as well with their family. And I really do love I mean, it was certainly took a back shot within the lives and how what was going on in their lives, but you know, the whole migration and immigration thing, I mean, this is a real thing that's happening for many families. Was that kind of something that was just you wanted to sort of angle in and portray? Because I mean, it really is existing for a lot of people, and it's a really hard situation for families to be in too, especially in this country.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, no doubt. I think, you know, the film was made during my time at film school, and I was at film school during the 4 years of the previous president that we had.
Yeah, what's his name again? Let's forget it. Or as Whippy says, I can't remember. She's never mentioned his name, but we'll say
yeah, totally. So yeah, I definitely think that heavily factored in, you know, with everything that was happening, and like, you know, still, it's been ongoing for a long time, right? I felt like undocumented folks are really most under threat in our society, and so I wanted to try to portray on screen how the political is very personal, how it can directly impact the family. However, since then though, I've been asking myself more questions as to, you know, should I really been the person, you know, to be the one to tell this story, you know? I've learned about the Undocumented Filmmakers Collective, and their thing is like, you know, they shouldn't just be the subjects of stories, like they should be creating and telling the stories, which of course, you know, is absolutely true. And so I wonder, like, if I was making the film today, would I have made it differently? Would I have made it more in collaboration with someone from that community?
I mean, listen, I do love your vision. I do love the topics that you raise, and important ones too, just experience in everyday life as well. I'm just curious, like, moving forward in your career, like, what kind of stories do you want to tell? Like, you know, I feel like you've got a really, had a really good start to your career. Like, what's next for you on the journey?
Thank you. Yeah, I think continuing this journey of, showing stories about migrants and migrant life. Every film gets very personal. My current film that is in post is called The Return, and it's a very different form of film. It's a personal film that's a doc hybrid. It's got my own story in there. It has my dad's story in there. And after that, I think I want to keep revisiting how can I show these elements of migrant life that I think a lot of people do experience, and that I think we need to see on screen.
Absolutely. Well, just shifting back a bit, I've got to say there's a lot of like locations that you had, and I was like, my goodness, all these different locations and sets and setups, and I was like, it's amazing. Everything from like when they're DJing to like, there's just so many, but I was like, how was like production? Like, what were some of the kind of challenges? I mean, goodness me, you wrote and directed this, and of course you've got a vision for how it looks when you wrote it. Did it kind of, how you wrote it, did it end up the way that you wanted it? Was it better? What kind of challenges you have making it?
It's funny you say that. I had 18 drafts of the script. 18,
and you got it right. Good job.
Well, I mean, I mentioned that because even with 18 drafts of the script, when I was in post, I still actually had to like further rewrite. And there was a lot I took out, and there were things I had to add, like the voicemails, for example.
Yes.
There were just things that weren't coming across. And so I think that was another massive thing for me to learn is, to really get the script right. And even though I had so many drafts of the script, in the end, when I was in post, that's when I saw like there's a lot of things that the viewer needs to know but weren't being conveyed. So I think that was a challenge. Production itself was pretty smooth. I had like a really, really good team all around, like a really good crew.
We're going to join your set. That's perfect. You see, smooth, you said. Independent filmmaking, smooth. I love it.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth.
That was great.
Yeah.
Well done for that. No, let's just, I mean, listen, for those maybe fraction people who haven't seen it, the majority hopefully have, like, the voicemails was a very touching part, element in there. Was that, I mean, I just thought it was just played out really well and just really kind of brought the kind of subject together as well.
Right.
Was that always was that something you wrote in there to have in there, or was it something you added kind of later? I'm always curious about those kind of voiceover parts.
I think I had to add it later.
There you go.
Because there was things I knew, like backstory I knew, but just wasn't coming across on the screen. So I was able to find a way to cheat, and I'm lucky that I was able to get away with it, and it worked with the footage that I had.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually have to like reshoot anything or to add more days. So it ended up working out, but that was definitely a challenge. The actor who voices the dad, the voicemail at the end of the film, he was actually the head of the acting program at UCLA.
Oh, nice.
So I was very lucky with him, and he understood what I was doing, and he actually wrote what he was going to say, and it was totally what I had in mind.
Good.
And that just worked out really well.
Keep it in the UCLA family, there you go. Okay, and finally, is there kind of, obviously I know you're on the early beginnings of your journey, is there any kind of advice you could share for any filmmakers out there, what you go by that help you in your filmmaking?
I can't take credit for this statement, but I go by write the thing you're most afraid to write.
Ooh.
And I have to, like, I say that, I say it to other people and I say it to myself, but every time it's still a challenge in order for me to do that, to like really push past any fear that I have and to get to the thing I want to talk about, but I'm really too afraid to do so.
Oh, I love it.
So,
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, everyone get out there and write the things you're most afraid of. I love it. That's so good. Well, I hope you continue to do that.
Thank you.
That
Me
too.
too.
But listen, Hena, thank you so much for bringing your film to us, and just keep making more movies for us, please.
Thank you. I hope so. Yeah.
Thank you. Hena, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks.